Today we're going to be exploring the 5 most iconic neighborhoods around Indiana University and the downtown area. Sometimes they're referred to as forgotten neighborhoods, but I don't think they're really forgotten. It's just that the houses don't come up for sale very often. So when they do, people are swooping in on them, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about these areas because if you love older homes and you don't want a standard cookie cutter home in a new subdivision with vinyl siding and whatnot, then you are going to love these homes because they were built by the limestone kings of Bloomington and Bedford, and they have a lot of history to them. So stay tuned. My name is Wendy Kohlmeier, and I like to do a video every week all about living, eating, sleeping, playing, and just having fun in Bloomington, Indiana. We have people reaching out to us all the time, and we absolutely love it. So if you need help moving to Bloomington, please call the number below, text, email. All my information is in the description. Please take a moment right now to like and subscribe to my channel so I can keep bringing you videos every week all about Bloomington. Let's jump right in. I sometimes like to call these the forgotten neighborhoods just because people do forget about them because they don't come up for sale for very often, and when they do, they have a price tag attached to them. So let's start out downtown. We're going to go to the west side of downtown in what's called the Near West Side neighborhood. And those houses are all very iconic. That is now a historical district, so if you purchase one there, you need to make sure that if you're wanting to do anything to the outside of it, that you are within the regulations of the covenants and restrictions of the neighborhood. They're pretty small houses. A lot of them just have 1 bathroom, but it's very walkable to IU. In fact, it's the start of the Near West Side neighborhood starts about 3 or 4 blocks from the courthouse. It starts at Rogers Street and goes west there and north of Kirkwood. So there's all kinds of different houses. There's some rental houses in there, there's some student housing in there, but there's a lot of homeowners as well. So you definitely want to check this area out. It is really kind of forgotten Bloomington, I should say. So, and if you want to find out more history on these houses, the Monroe County History Center is a good place to start. But a lot of these houses were built for factory workers. We had an RCA plant, and if you're too young to know what RCA is, it was television. Those big box televisions back in the 50s and 60s, and the plant was here in Bloomington where Switchyard Park is, so that is kind of a cool thing. Next, we want to go east of Bryan Park, and there are 2 roads there, Sheridan and Southdowns. I love this neighborhood. I grew up on Southdowns till I was 12 years old, and then my parents built a house on the east side, but this is kind of a forgotten neighborhood as well. It's south of the Elm Heights district. I went to Elm Heights and was in that school district, so I walked there every day, and it's kind of a hike to Elm Heights for a little kid. So, but anyway, these houses all have character to them, and they are not your standard cookie cutter houses. Bryan Park is walkable, and Mall is really walkable to the east side there too. It might take you a little bit longer, but you can walk to IU from there, all the things, right? So you will have to walk down to 3rd Street if you want to hit a coffee shop or something like that, but it's just a very quaint area with a lot of history in the houses, and you don't want to forget the Maxwell Manors neighborhood. Just to the north of Maxwell Manors, we have the Elm Heights district. And the Elm Heights district, that's where the first professors for IU lived. That area is mostly large houses. I do have another video. It's also called the Vinegar Hill District. There's a lot of houses in there, but you definitely want to check that out. And if you like the history, you can find out more on the City of Bloomington's website. They do have some walking tours there, and I do a walking tour on Vinegar Hill, as well as the Bloomington houses, which have all been mostly purchased by Indiana University and are now rentals of some sort. Do want to check out the Elm Heights neighborhood. The houses, when they do come up for sale, they go very quickly if they've been kept up and remodeled. So there's some very interesting history there as well. Elm Heights neighborhood is a historic district, and it goes from Maxwell to like 3rd Street and all those houses I'm talking about, and the west side would probably be Henderson. But as you get towards Henderson, you're going to see all those houses that have been turned into student rentals. So once you're west of the original Elm Heights school, that's where most of the rentals start. But there are a lot of houses to the east of that and to the south of that, which are not student rentals. So those would be available as well, but they do come with a price by being that close to Indiana University. Moving on to the north side, we're going to talk about Matlock Heights, and I love that neighborhood. It is just north of the bypass or 46 and just north of Assembly Hall and the stadium. And it has all kinds of different houses in there. There's only a few streets of it, but it is the way to get down to the Griffey boat ramp, and Lake Griffey is right there. So you're 3 minutes away from Lake Griffey, which is really nice, and the IU golf course is right there as well. So Lake Griffey is a nature preserve, and you can go and hike trails there straight from Matlock Heights just down the hill, and that has a lot to offer as well. Then to the west of Matlock Heights, still walkable to the stadium, but the road is off of 46 as well, and that's Blue Ridge Estates. And Blue Ridge Estates was one of the most iconic neighborhoods, right? So there's mid-century moderns there. That's what people are looking for, and you can find those in Blue Ridge Estates. There's the original developers of that neighborhood was Irv Rumpel and his brother Kenny Rumpel, and they had houses there. My parents were friends with them, and the Olivers lived in that neighborhood from Oliver Winery, and the Bybees from Bybee Stone Quarry, and a lot of prominent people with IU. So that neighborhood has very unique houses in it. Now, unfortunately, a lot of those houses need to be remodeled, but if you can get one, it's just a great place to be. On the west side of the neighborhood, you can just jump on Old State Road 37 and zip out to I-69 going to Indianapolis, and it's on the north side of town, so it's not very far to scoot up to Indy. And then you could walk to the stadium. The road's a little bit busy there, but there is that option. And if you work on the north side of IU, you could actually walk to work. You could bicycle as well. And the other nice thing about there, you're going to be on the south side of Lake Griffey, and you can get there very quickly, as well as Ferguson Dog Park is very close. And across Old State Road 37 is Cascades Park. So there's all those options of things to do just within minutes of being in Blue Ridge. Now, you're not going to really be able to walk to restaurants and things like that because it's a bit too far. It depends on how much traffic you like too. So you could do it, but there's a little too much traffic, so you might have to grab your bike and ride in and park and on a trail or downtown or whatever. Ridge is probably 6-7 minutes to downtown, and it's just a great older neighborhood. So you definitely want to check these neighborhoods out if you're looking for housing that is something that is reminiscent of old Bloomington, because these neighborhoods are what made Bloomington Bloomington. So be sure and check out my next video, and I will see you next week.